So tonight I'd like to welcome everyone to LiveCountry's first webinar. So tonight we're talking to Keely, who recently won a weekend at the beautiful Port Fairy in a competition that we held in conjunction with FIS at Port Fairy BNB. Keely, welcome. Can you give us a bit of background about yourself and how you came across the LiveCountry competition for a start?
Thank you. So I am married with two kids and born and bred in Australia, but background of Irish. We've been, me and my husband have been wanting to move rural for quite some time. So it's actually my husband that came across the competition. He was following the LiveCountry Instagram page and saw it come up and tagged me in the photo. And I entered the competition without him knowing, because I have two Instagram accounts, one for my business and then a separate one. I didn't know about the other account that I have going, and entered it as a possibility that we could win, but I didn't really want him knowing and getting disappointed if we didn't. And he then was reading the entries on your Instagram account and saw that the two Irish souls, and he started reading it to me, and he goes, "Oh, this just resonates with me," and and he started reading it, and I just burst into laughter and started smiling, and I said, "Can you click into the account?" and saw that it was me. So then on, from then on, he was like, he goes, I think we're going to win this. Like he goes, that just struck a note with me. I'm like,
oh, absolutely. It was a really great entry. I think a lot of people would have identified with that. Now, did you grow up in the country? Like, why the interest in going to the country?
No, like I've always been suburban mum, so I've only grown up 5 minutes from where I'm living now. And I never really I've never had any farm experiences or anything like that. My husband grew up in suburban Melbourne as well, but his uncle had a farm not far from Port Fairy, actually, in Macarthur. And he used to travel there quite often, most weekends. And so he got the experience of the farm life. And I've done a bit of travelling over to Ireland, and just the feeling that I get, the comfort that I get, I think, when I'm, surrounded by rolling hills and greenery, is something that I don't experience. Never had that comfort, I suppose, in suburban Melbourne. So
yeah, that's really
it's kind of been our drawing card to want to move to the country since I met him, really. So me and my husband have just, I don't know, deciding the right time, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to make that decision, certainly. Now, which one of you is the photographer, or are you both? Because you have the pictures.
No, I am. I was the one taking all the photos, but I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I suppose, have more of a creative flair. My husband's a builder; he's quite talented in that area. But yeah, it's me with the photography.
Fantastic. Can you talk me through some of the factors that you think it would be nice to live in the country, but what are the things that would make it easier to move, and what are the things that would stop you going?
Easier to move, I think, for my issue has always been, I suppose, the right time to go for the kids. So I think we both think that it was probably better to go before they start school. And in saying that, we want to know that there's good schools around, that they're going to have good opportunities. And I want to be somewhere close to a town community, because I don't want to feel isolated on a massive property and have to drive a long time to get any kind of social aspect of just, I suppose, with kids, you kind of need that, that to touch base with other people and feed off each other. I think I just
absolutely. And then have you narrowed it down? Have you thought about particularly locate? Does it need to be trees nearby? Does it need to be ocean? Anything in particular?
Nothing in particular. We both like any. So I don't like flatland. I like to see. We both want to see rolling hills. Wherever we're going to be, and we do like when we went to Port Fairy, we love the sound of the ocean. We have a holiday house down in Rye on the peninsula, so we love that. That's really comfortable for us to hear the sound of the ocean. So that would be a bonus if we could find somewhere with both. But
And
there's nowhere. Yeah.
What about work? Tell me about, because you know, for a lot of people work is the deciding factor on where you're going to end up. Well, how much of a factor is that for you?
I don't think it's that big a deal for either of us. I can work from home. Obviously, being graphic designer, I just need a computer and the internet. And my husband's a builder, so he, can use those skills anywhere I think we go. So it's more if there's opportunities nearby. When we went to Port Fairy, they were doing a lot of building, so there's always opportunities there for Jace and. And I can, my clients just follow me via email, so that's all I need access to.
Yeah, great. So tell us a bit more about Port Fairy. Had you been there before?
No, I hadn't, and Jace couldn't remember going, but his mum told him he had gone as a young kid. But it was really new for either of us, and it was a beautiful place.
What was your thoughts when you turned up at the Port Fairy BNB? What was that like?
It was just beautiful driving down the driveway, and I think there's like the olive trees that line the driveway. And as soon as we got there, Liz greeted us at the car, and it was like we'd known each other for a while. We just had very similar personalities. So she took us around the back of the property to our room, and you just look out onto the landscape, and it's just beautiful. It's silent. You can just hear the waves in the crashing into the shore, and it's so peaceful. It was just beautiful.
Fantastic. Were there any other particular highlights of the weekend while you were there?
There was quite a few. Like, we enjoyed the entire weekend, to be honest. The night we got there, Liz showed us, walked us around the town, and pointed out some things and chatted to us about what it's like to live in Port Fairy, and that was really good to hear and kind of comforting, because we've always had lots of questions but no one to really ask about moving rural, and Fliss has done that in her lifetime, so it's been good to kind of get feedback on that. So that was a really good experience. And then we did a tour on the Saturday with Eco Took, and that was another really good experience. The driver just knew everything and anything, and it was just really interesting to hear all the history of Port Fairy and kind of what it's become now. So it was really good.
And what is Eco Took? Can you tell me about that?
It's a little, just like a little tuk-tuk, just like they have over Thailand and Bali, and just an electric tuk-tuk that just took us around the town and along the water, and just like a little tour, I suppose, and explained each of the sites and a little bit about the history, and then it was, really, really nice.
Great. And then one of the things that people often find a challenge is switching from tourist mode to being a member of the community mode. So did you have that sort of challenge in your brain? Sort of, it's nice to be here for the weekend, but what would it be like?
No, surprisingly not. Like, before we'd even actually gone up, we started looking at property in Port Fairy, and we were trying to organise a house inspection for that weekend, which didn't quite marry up. But we were really going there open-minded to feel what it was going to be like to live in the country, and so we didn't really have that separation. And I suppose the community itself was lovely, and Felicity was so welcoming, and kind of put our minds at ease about a lot of things and made it didn't feel like we were there just transitioning. I felt like we were kind of trying to get to know everyone in the community and kind of what it's all about in a short space of time to see if we would fit in there.
And what was the verdict?
We really do like it there. So we are keeping our eyes out for if the right place comes up. As I said, we're not tied down to where we want to move to. So if it comes up there, then that's where we'll head. And if not, then we're looking anywhere really.
Yeah, how important is it to you to find your people, if you like, find a community where you feel like you'd fit in? Or did you have any reservations on whether there'd be people like you or people that you would instantly get on with?
I suppose I hadn't really thought about. I feel like moving into a rural community, I feel like it's already established and people have the relationship and connections. So it was like, to me, do you come in and always feel like an outsider? But like I said, Fliss, it just didn't feel like that at all. I felt like we had known each other, we were friends, and she would introduce us to people as we passed them in the street, and it was just, it was really nice to have that community feeling. And I suppose just doing that for the weekend took my mind at ease. As if you would move anywhere, I think you'd always find people like that would welcome you straight away.
Well, what about, you mentioned education was really important, like finding a place where your kids would be able to go to school and get a good education and enjoy fitting in and all that sort of thing. How would you go about working out that? Is the school right for your kids?
Yeah, I think, I work at a school, so I do a lot of research into, the schools and what academically, how they sit. So in terms of, the right school, I think we have our wants and needs for our kids in terms of what type of school we want to send them to. So, I mean, if a place doesn't have, that to fulfill that for us, then we will look elsewhere. But I know that Port Fairy has some nice schools, and Warrnambool's only a half-hour drive. So the aspects is looking at the surrounding areas, and do they have the good schools, and that the kids can go to with minimal fuss in terms of travel time and not making their days extremely long getting to and from school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about health services? Did you think about, is the doctor nearby and that sort of stuff? Is that a factor that you would consider?
Surprisingly, no, I didn't actually even think about that. It's not really something that I would deem as important. But I know. Sorry, pardon me. I'm going to cough. It's like that's not a massive issue for me. I think that we're there in an hour drive, because obviously some places are really rural. That would probably be as far as I'd go.
Yeah, absolutely. So where to from here? And I guess the other thing is, for you, how long is the decision take? Because I think it is different for every person, how long it takes to decide. You've thought for a long time you might like to move to the country, but then it's a question of, well, do you decide in 2 years or 6 months, or just when the right moment comes?
Ours is a bit of a factor. We've decided since that weekend in Port Fairy, we've gone, this is definitely what we want to do. We know that now. We're actively looking, so we plan on moving somewhere rural before, hopefully by mid next year, to be honest. Like, I'm giving us about a year maximum, so we're looking at the moment and would hope to be out of this house and into the new one, this time next year.
Great. And the other thing that I'm really interested in is how do you actually go about finding information? So obviously you found out about Port Fairy, going there and visiting there. Assuming you do some internet searches on bits and pieces. How else do you find out?
That's all we've really been doing. Jason suggested that we should travel around and do weekend trips. So we will try and do a few of them if they're within our means and if the kids cooperate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if we do find, I suppose, this perfect property, then it's a matter of let's drive out there, let's see, get a feel for the area. So that's kind of where we'll start. I think I'm more looking for the perfect land and house or what we could do with it, and then we'll travel out to the area and see if it's right for us.
Yeah, great. So it sort of starts with a real estate search and then you go from there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's given us a really good idea of your experience and the process. So thanks very much for your time and for taking part. Were there anything else you wanted to add that people should think about as they're going about, or do you think we've covered it off?
Look, I think it's covered. I think everyone's going to be different in terms of what they want out of living rural or how they're going to find the perfect place. Our search has been, I suppose, a long time coming in terms of we always are looking. It's just, everyone's going to have their own approach to it, and ours is we're very open to where we want to go. Some people are very set on certain areas and will only look within that, region. So, yeah, it's a bit different, I think, for everyone to find that perfect place.
Absolutely. I think everyone has a few different criteria and also a few different ways of looking. But that's very insightful. So thank you very much. For anyone looking for more information, we can go to www.livecountry.com.au and we'll have another webinar on this topic soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Tim.